And we are live. Welcome to the Political Orphans, the bold new voice of independent media where left meets right, powered by you, our commenters. My name is Nico Lagan, and I am a conservative. To my left, my co host, Rob Ambrose, a liberal. Our goal is simple: challenge the narrative, reject political bias, and tackle the topics that mainstream media won't touch. But above all, we want to create a space where people who disagree can have a civil conversation and find solutions to the problems that we face together. Now, if it's the first time listening, yes, we do record for 2 hours because we talk with our commenters. Unlike everybody else out there, we actually do want our commenters to comment, and we highlight their comments on the show and debate with them if they disagree with us. But if you're looking for a specific topic, just look at the bottom of the screen. Everything is segmented per topic, so you'll be able to find what you're looking for. But I suggest that you stick around and do listen to the show. Here are the main topics of the day. First, the US-Canada trade deal deadline is looming, today being the last day. Carney is set to recognize Palestine as a state in September. The Bank of Canada holds the interest rate at 2.75 for the third time in a row. Canadians are inciting hate by claiming that we do not have unmarked or mass graves in this country. And finally, Pierre Poilievre versus Bonnie Critchley by-election debate closing remarks. Get your comments ready because the show starts now. What is going on, bro?
What's happening, brother? How you doing today?
The life of
new parents.
Father. Yeah. I'm so happy my wife let me, because I recorded yesterday until 8, so I didn't go to bed probably. You know, you're kind of wired after a show. Like it was a good show, so I was still wired, and I didn't go to bed probably before 10:30. And normally I wake up at 3, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I'm happy that I woke up at 3:30, and she's like, "It's okay, I'm already up. Go back to bed." I'm like, no argument. I think I turned around and I was
like, don't have to tell me twice.
I'm not even sure I answered her.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was decent. We got some feedback on that already. Wise Guy says he watched Nico's talk with David Craden last night. The show was really good. Nice.
I appreciate that, Wise Guy, because I don't know if you were there at the beginning of the show when I was talking with Craden, but I actually mentioned you without mentioning you, saying that you had said how different our personalities were between him and I. Very different personalities, but he's
that can work. You just have to figure out a way for it to gel, right?
What's cool is that he's not looking to run the show, so I get to put the structure behind it. Like I came in with 4 subjects. We talked for a minute before the show. I'm just saying those are the 4 topics I thought we would talk about. And he's like, let's add the Freedom Convoy to it, because he literally covered, he's a journalist, right? So he's attended about 95% of the court hearings. So he's very, So that's all he does. He's really he's a brilliant guy, very, very smart guy. So all to say, Wise Guy, that I was mentioning yesterday how you mentioned that our personalities were so different, but I think it can work if I tame myself a bit, because I will tame myself a bit. I'll give him more space to speak, ask him more questions so that he gets into longer answers, because he's a very well-spoken individual, right?
Well, if you're going to run a show, first of all, it does help to have sort of one, like if both people are trying to run the show, I don't feel like it works.
No, it doesn't.
You gotta, but if you're gonna run the show, you also can't hog the airtime either, right? You gotta give your co-host the space to breathe a little. But yeah, no, it sounds. I'll probably check it out. Sounds. Now, Pam says David is too conservative for this libertarian girl. So he's pretty. Is he pretty conservative?
Yeah. He's a Christian conservative. He's
and it's a different vibe from this show. You know, that like it sounds like your show is meant to be
it's meant for conservative people.
Firmly conservative. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And you guys, Pam, you might not realize that, but I'm extremely conservative in my values. It's just that I don't let that define me as a person to say
Silly.
that I don't let that define me, so I'm able to have conversations with people I completely disagree, and it's okay, right?
That's right. Sylvie says, "Thank goodness Robbie's running this show."
I love the
That's why
sarcasm, Sylvie. It's awesome.
That's why it runs so smoothly. No, we have a good dynamic. Nico
Yeah.
does most of the work. He just tells me what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
It sounds like the same dynamic as the other show. If there's something that I think we should talk about, I'll mention it. But
Yep.
this is your bread and butter, right? This is something you've been doing for years. It works. I'm not.
You know how we call you in the business?
What?
You're fuck. What was the term? Oh man, I thought I was so
The
fucking
business.
clever.
The
I
business.
thought I was so clever.
You shit the bed so hard, bro.
100%. I pulled a
Yeah.
Carney on this one. God damn.
You
God damn.
dropped the ball.
No. That's what I was going to say. You know how we call you in the business? The talent.
What's that? The talent. Oh,
You're the
yes.
talent.
Yeah.
But god damn it, I'm just the talent.
Yeah.
You can't expect this from me. I'm
Yeah.
the talent. Yes.
Yeah.
So you, sir, are the talent.
Yeah.
Since Sylvie is here, funny enough, I wanted to mention her this morning because throughout the week, I can't remember when it was, but she mentioned that we should talk. She asked me if we would talk about the mass graves that were supposedly found in hold on, the mass. A few years ago Trudeau has said that there was a mass.
And it never happened, right? They haven't found one.
Not only did it never happen, but the grounds that they were claiming to be mass graves were tested with radars, with sonar, and turns out that there was fucking nothing there.
There's nothing.
No. And so Sylvie sent me a text on the X speaking about this, just saying, hey, would you be interested in having Jim McCurthy on the show? McCurtry, on the show, because that's his specialty. He's a teacher out of BC, if I'm not mistaken, that was fired for exposing the hoax.
That's ridiculous, man. Like, look.
And one of the subject today is that, right? There's a video that's trending right now on X where there's a white-looking indigenous person telling us how people like me that claims that it's not true, we're very bad for this country. So I have it on top. We're going to talk about it. But then it's funny how Sylvie, Kamloops, yeah, that's what I thought. So Sylvie was talking about this. I saw that story this morning. I asked her to try to reach out the guy because I don't know him personally. Yes, this morning I approached him. He answered me right away. I talked to Jason. He introduced me through email, but before he actually answered the email, he answered my post, and he will join us on Wednesday next week. So
cool.
Wednesday next week at 12:30, we will be. He just confirmed. I'm literally looking at a text from 3 minutes ago saying that he will be with us to talk about the video we're going to show you today because it's trending. But yeah, that's the type of show that we're running, guys. Like we want to have experts. And talking about experts, tomorrow, don't forget that at 12:30, we will have a duo of doctors that don't know each other, but supposedly are very big fan of them and of each other.
Of each other, yeah.
They both told me independently via text, like, would you mind if I got that guy at the same time? Oh, yeah, that guy's awesome. I'm a fan. So we're going to have Dr. Chris Milbourne and Dr. Sean Watley tomorrow on the show to speak about the state of our healthcare system, especially the way ERs are handled, in reference to the story of that Oakville family that's suing the Oakville hospital on how their son died while waiting for care, and all the numbers that I kind of brought up 2 days ago. So we're going to bring that up. It's going to make for a very cool conversation to have two doctors on our two Yahoos. Your two favorite Yahoos will be with two awesome doctors that have balls to speak about this stuff. So yeah,
actually boost some IQ up here for a change.
At least on camera, because our
on camera,
are way smarter than we are.
Oh yeah, wait, very much so.
No, you can't, Sylvie, you can't. You just can't, because this is the thing, right? When people realize you have about 200,000 followers, they tend to respond to you. because they're like, oh, exposure. You know, I started,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
why I started recorded podcasts? Because I realized that I couldn't just approach people that I liked online and tell them, hey, can we have a conversation over coffee? They would think I'm a fucking psycho. But if I tell them, hey, can I shove a camera in your face and ask you a bunch of questions?
They
oh,
love it.
yeah, of
Oh,
course.
of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They love it.
So, yeah.
Everyone's a little bit of a narcissist deep down, I think.
I think so.
You know, I think so too.
Some more than other.
Oh, God, please. Fucking talk about the pot called the kettle black here. Come on.
You're so racist. The pot calling the kettle colored.
Colored. Yeah. Kettle of color. Sorry. I apologize, Joey Swole. Yeah, no, I'm curious to have that expert there on the mass graves thing. To me, that's just ridiculous. Like, I think it was valid that if there was genuine reason to think that there was something there, sure, go dig it up. But like we always say on the show, what's important is you get it right. Once it was proved that there was nothing there, then you have to come out and say it. But all the stories stopped, right? And now they're saying, like, the left is punishing people who's saying that it's not true. And it seems like their take is, well, okay, maybe it isn't true, but just saying that hurts Indigenous people. No, it doesn't. Lying about it hurts Indigenous people. The truth never hurts anyone. And if the truth does hurt someone, they should be hurt. They should be hurt if the truth hurts you.
Couldn't agree with you more, man. He's pretty base. He would have had replied. Yeah, the guy's a good dude. Like, he seems like a good dude. Once I actually went to see who he was, I realized that I watched a podcast of him with somebody that I know. So when I approached him, I'm like, hey, I saw you on this guy's podcast. Would you be interested to doing the same on our show? So yeah.
One thing I did want to just briefly discuss. Pam says, what the fuck is with these stupid pop-up ads in live chat? Fuck off, YouTube. Is that a thing? Are you guys all seeing this? Because that's I don't know what that's about. That's kind of weird. Pop-up ads in the chat?
Right.
I didn't
We better be getting paid for this.
Is that because we're getting paid for that, or is it just YouTube just squeezing out more dollars out of every aspect of content?
They did approach me to see if they could rent one of my glasses so that they could put ads there. I'm just kidding. Obviously, it's not true. Like, come on. Obviously, it's not true.
Pam just got another one. Is anyone else having them, or is it just Pam?
What?
Maybe they're zeroed in on Pam specifically.
Okay, hold on. I got to go check this out because I've never heard about that before.
Yeah.
Let me just see if I can see them too, because obviously we need to be... I don't see the ads. Are they for Cialis or something? What are they trying to sell you?
I don't think Pam would be getting those ads, but you never know.
Yeah, I know it was kind of a joke, but it's okay.
Is
okay.
So
nothing here. Oh my God, just got another one. Nope. So you're the only one.
It's just Pam. Just Pam. Spam and Pam.
Pam is being spammed.
Yeah.
Try saying that
Pam.
fast. Pam is being spammed. Pam is being spammed. Pam is being spammed. The last one was for insurance. Damn. So shall we?
Yep, let's do it.
Main topic of the day. And of course, I just ended up closing my Word document here, but here we are. So first story of the day, obviously the most important one if you ask me, but it is the fact that August 1st is the deadline for Canada and the US to make a new trade deal. And guess what? We're pretty much in the last 24 hours and the deadline is looming. Yet, Carney doesn't seem to be really bothered by it. It doesn't seem to be a big problem with him. And here's a video from Global News, not only going through Carney's response, but what Trump is doing. Because as per Trump, Canada, August 1st is going to be a great day for the U.S.
Deadline day is fast approaching.
August 1st is a very big day for this country because money is going to pour into the United States like we've never seen before.
Donald Trump's ultimatum: cut a deal with the U.S. or face 35% tariffs starting Friday. A date Mark Carney seems willing to blow through.
The constructive negotiations with the Americans are ongoing. It's possible that they may not conclude by the 1st of August.
Although the president didn't wait for Friday to bring in his latest tax. slapping a 50% tariff on semi-finished copper, which will impact $9.3 billion in copper exports Canada sends to the U.S. Tariffs that, like steel and aluminum, the Prime Minister thinks are here to stay.
I think we have to recognize that in the strategic sectors, again, as defined by the United States, what's strategic to them, that they have tariffs.
Another one of those sectors, dairy.
They've been charging our farmers 200%, 300%, 400% for years, and nobody did anything about it.
By the way, I just wanted to mention that if you do want to know more about our supply management system or our dairy cartel, like we like to talk about it, we did record a podcast with the food processor, the food professor, Mr. Dr. Charles Bois on Tuesday. So if you want to hear more, there is an episode on the YouTube channel of just the interview with him. It was very cool. That dude got balls. He's not scared to receive some knock visit at the door. But all to say that if you want more information on the milk cartel, go check out the interview we recorded 2 days ago.
Yeah, that was a great interview.
Except Trump did address that in 2018 with the Canada-Mexico-U.S. free trade deal. American dairy farmers can send 50 billion liters of milk to Canada annually before any tariffs kick in.
50 billion. Did you hear that? 50 billion. Moose on the Loose was talking about this on his episode this morning, and he calculated that it's more than 3.5 liter per Canadian a day. So clearly that's incorrect. Clearly they fucked up on the wording there, but
yeah, that doesn't sound right.
I don't know one single person that drinks 3.5 liter of milk a day
every day.
But but that's what they're saying. They could send 50 billion liters of milk here. It's like, okay, sure, you can exaggerate your numbers, but please make them.
I'm kind of reminded of the Dr. Charlebois when he said Trump doesn't really care about this. This is a wedge. This is a wedge issue for him. He just knows that it'll get under the skin of the Canadian
100%.
So he's using it. But yeah, 50 billion liters. Yeah, essentially 3.5 billion or 3.5 liters a day. Like, yeah, there's just not that much demand for milk in
per Canadian a day.
Per Canadian, yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, the price of milk would be like fucking 10 cents a fucking carton if they had that much milk into the market. But yeah.
Threshold that's never been exceeded. New tariffs and old complaints underscoring Trump's erratic nature.
What you have with Trump are essentially handshake deals with the used car salesman who wasn't there last week and may not be there the coming week.
So you want to know where rates are going, basically.
Leading the Bank of Canada to hold interest rates for their third straight meeting.
There is a sense that U.S. policy may well remain unpredictable.
Despite tariffs, the central bank noted that Canada's economy has proven to be surprisingly resilient under the current effective U.S. tariff rate, which Tiff Macklem estimates is roughly 5%.
I think it's the biggest deal ever made. Thank you very much.
A lower level than any other deal Trump has done. But if the situation changes, the governor says he's open to cutting rates if the economy sags and inflation is low.
We continue to proceed carefully, given the unusual amount of uncertainty.
Macklem also notes, Donna, that while the bank projects Canada will avoid a recession, U.S. tariffs will set the Canadian economy on a path of permanently lower growth.
Okay, Mackenzie Gray and all.
So I wanted to repeat what he just said there. Canada will avoid a recession, but the U.S. tariff will set the Canadian economy on a path of permanently low growth. Keep that in mind, and I know where the fuck you're going with this because we've talked about this a lot, and I have that little graphic that I want to share with you guys just to put a bit of context to the stupidity that guy just said. Like, this is absolutely idiotic what that guy just said. Like, what do you mean on a path of permanently lower growth? Lower growth than this?
We've been on at least since 10 years. We've been lower growth. Yeah, I mean
1% GDP growth over 10 years. Like, what is it going to be now? Is it going to be minus 10?
Yeah,
like give me a fucking.
We're already there.
Break.
We're already there, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there.
But I always love when they do that. Huh? Oh, this will send us on a economic path of permanently lower growth. Lower growth than what? Yeah. The person responsible for our low growth is right on the graphic right there, and Carney should be right next to him.
Yep. And it's you know, about they don't want to exploit our resources. They think that our economy is fine as it is, and clearly it's not. And this will make it only weaker. The only solution out of this is digging and drilling. That's it.
Yes, sir. 100%. And before we do go to the comments, I wanted to show another one. This is a video that was shared by Jasmine Lane this morning about what the U.S. ambassador to Canada had to say. Because I don't know if you knew this, but he's in Canada right now. Like, I recognize the stages that he's on. Yep. Like, he's on interviews, but he's ballsy. Like, he's really ballsy because he's going on left-leaning media and he's telling it the way he thinks is true. But here is U.S. Ambassador Pete Oakstra on how nonsensical the anti-Trump and anti-America sentiment in Canada has become. Remember, because for most woke individual out there or people above 65, it seems that being a Canadian is not being American.
Do you understand why some Canadians are upset with your president when he talks about the 51st state? And why some of them don't want to travel, why some white provinces are banning it? Do you understand why?
In reality, I've talked to a lot of Canadians, and I will be the first to admit I still don't fully understand how personal and how aggressive some Canadians have become on this issue. Okay, so no, I don't fully understand it. I understand that those feelings exist. They're part of my reality, but you know, they don't really exist on the other side of the border. Americans are not banning the sale of Canadian products into America. I've asked a lot of places, you know, what's American tourism doing? And they say it's the same, if not up this year. Americans still love Canada. We're coming here. We're spending American dollars in Canada because we view Canada as a friendly country. And even though, you know, we both have warts, okay? You don't like the 51st state? Guess what? We didn't like it that you didn't pay for NATO for years, but that didn't stop us from coming to Canada or evaluating Canadian products based on their merit and their value.
You recently did spark some controversy.
You know what's interesting? I didn't think about that when I heard it the first time. But what's interesting about the comment that he just passed, as in, you know, you guys might not like the 51st state idea, and that's fine. But we also don't like that you didn't pay for shit for NATO for years and we still continued paying. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a conversation. And this is similar to what you and I do every day, right? Even though we might disagree, commenters the same way with our listeners, we still want to have that conversation. And he has a point on there that most liberal Canadians are not even interested and entertaining the conversation with Trump. They're like, we shouldn't talk. No deal is better. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's stupid. That's
yes.
idiotic. There's clearly, like, he's baffled because for him and America in general, this is transactional. It's just doing business. It's trying to get a good deal. For Canadians, it feels, I think for a lot of them, it's personal, right? And there's, you know, as Dr. Charlebois had mentioned the other day, he said there's this disturbing trend that's been increasing in Canada where a lot of Canadians feel like we're morally superior to Americans. And I think when you have that mindset, then you're outraged that these moral inferiors want to take over your country. And of course, that's not the right way to look at it. It has to be looked at the way that they are looking at it, transactional. They're going to try to do the best thing for America, as they probably should. And we need to not get fucking butthurt about it. Just look at it from a transactional perspective and try to get the best deal for Canada. That means dealing with Donald Trump, unfortunately. He's the fucking president that they chose. We don't get a fucking say in it. And to say, oh, yeah, well, you know, to have you keep your moral purity and say, we're not going to deal with Donald Trump. Okay, so then deal with negative GDP growth for the next 10 years, morons. Or you can just bite the bullet, recognize that America has the right to choose their own president and that we have to deal with whoever that is. It's just childish in so many ways. You know, hopefully, I don't know. I say hopefully Canadians pull our head out of their ass, but you know, that's at this point it kind of feels like wishful thinking because a lot of these ideas seem baked in to the Canadian, much of the Canadian left.
we have less than 12 hours to go. So my
Yeah.
hopes are not very high, but who knows? Let's finish.
It's 12 hours, is it?
We're
Yeah, that's
Thursday.
right.
We're Thursday today, and the deadline is literally midnight. Well, 11:59 tonight.
So I mean, I guess we can't really judge Carney until tomorrow's show, because who knows?
I've been judging way before.
Well, yeah,
today.
sure. But I mean, on this one issue, maybe he's gonna pull a fucking horseshoe out of his ass, a Hail Mary pass at the last second. But
actually, he's gonna pull a hat out of a rabbit's ass. A hat out of a rabbit's ass.
He sounds like he's okay with just no deal at all. And look, if he's going to come out and say, yeah, there's no deal that was good for Canada, he better be prepared to tell us what was on the fucking table. I want to know what he decided wasn't good enough for Canada. Because if it comes out that it's something like he wanted to get rid of the milk cartel and we said no, I'll be like, you're a fucking idiot. You're a goddamn moron, man. If that's the sticking point between a deal and no deal, you know, I think I see a lot of people on the left in Canadian media. Remember, we talked about the EU deal, and we thought, you know, a lot of them are saying, oh, don't cave like the Europeans. Don't do that. But frankly, a deal with 15% tariffs across the board
instead of 35
looks pretty good about now. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think we need to get out, and you could hear Mark Carney saying this, although he didn't say it effectively, but he should have spent the last week making clear that tariffs are going to be a part of this. Like, there's no deal that does not include tariffs. It's just a fact of life. And I think he still has convinced Canadians that there's a deal out there that doesn't include tariffs. And I think there just isn't. Probably 10 to 15% is the absolute best deal you're ever going to get. And we'll see what happens. Like you said, it's only 12 hours away.
As Ron Loney is saying, Eastern EST time means 11.5 hours and counting 100%. So before we take God damn, man, the lack of sleep is brutal. Before we take some of the comments, I just want to remind you guys that we're talking about the trade deal looming. The US and Canada are supposed to make a deal by the end of the day. That was what we've been sold for the past month or so, and 11.5 hours to go. I don't see it happening. And Carney doesn't seem to be too bothered by it. And Trump also announced yesterday that he's going to put a 35% tariff on untreated copper, which again could be fucking brutal for Canada. But this is where we're at right now. And if you are on X, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to reshare the stream. But the real discussion, as you can see, like right there next to my nipples, is the conversation going on YouTube. So if you really want to be part of the show and influence the show, join us on YouTube at the Poli Orphans. Once you're there, make sure to like the show. So guys, if you're on YouTube right now, make sure to like the show. It takes you 2 seconds. It's right there. Like the smash button. If you believe in what Rob and I are trying to accomplish, which is provide a real independent media where the left and the right actually talk to one another instead of screaming at each other, then support us. It's $2.99 a month to become a member. And support independent media in Canada that is not backed by political parties.
Yep.
Want to take some of the comments?
Yeah, let's see what, because it looks like we've got a couple new commenters here. Okay, Logan White says digging and drilling doesn't give us inalienable rights. Rob, our charter is garbage. Well, I mean, I'm just talking about economically. Like, that's a whole, what you're talking about, charters and rights. That you know, that's a fair point, but it is another discussion. I'm just talking about, you know, as that guy in the piece that we watched said, Canada's going to have lower GDP growth permanently, which, you know, we've already been there for 10 years. But the solution to this is to invest in our natural resources, dig minerals out of the ground, drill oil out of the ground, build export capacity on both coasts, open our markets to Europe and China. So we don't have to just sit here and be like, oh, I guess we're permanently low growth. There are actual policy decisions that have given us this low growth, and there are policy decisions that could get us out of this. But that starts with scrapping Bill C-69 for one. scrapping the EV mandate. Why is that even on the fucking
100%.
table? Why is the EV mandate still on the table? One thing that's clear, whatever this deal is, our auto sector is going to get hammered.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have, it's still in place, a mandate for 2025 where all vehicles have to be EV, and we don't even
all new vehicles. Yes,
we make one. Like there's no. If all the vehicles have to be EV, they're going to come from China. That's where all of our vehicles are going to come from. And like I said, it'll destroy the auto industry even before 2025 because no one's buying a car, a gasoline combustible engine vehicle in 2020 or 2030. If
2029,
2029. If 5 years from there, or 5 years from there. They know that vehicle is going to be illegal, even if they can drive it for 5 years. It would have no resale value whatsoever. So it would destroy the auto industry long before the actual mandate takes place. And man, I know me and you have debated whether Carney is just making some dumb choices or if he's intentionally doing this. I still cannot wrap my mind around that a prime minister would come in and intentionally destroy the Canadian economy. But if he was insisting on keeping the EV mandate, would be a pretty good way to do it.
Well, like I said many times, I believe that Carney is here to finish what Trudeau started. He's read his book. He's not dumb. He's very smart. It's scary how smart that guy is. So for him to do what he's doing right now, it's intentional. He knows exactly what he's doing. There's zero good reasons to put an EV mandate by 2035. Like the EV mandate is not only for 2035, but it also stipulates here that the goal is the mandate requires the number of new ZEV sold in Canada to hit 20% by next year. 20% by next year. And I think I was looking for the numbers. They're saying that right now about 14.6% of new cars being sold are EV, yet other numbers are more indicating something between 8 and 9%, which those are the numbers I normally see, somewhere around 8. So he basically wants to almost triple the amount of EV cars sold by the end of the year. Like, what the fuck are you saying? You've destroyed our economy as the economic advisor to Trudeau for the past 5 years. Now you're destroying our economy by not making a deal with our biggest fucking ally that buys 75% of our fucking exports. You're destroying our economy, and you expect Canadians to have money for new fucking cars? Like, one of the things, my wife and I were on the road for 3 years, give or take 2.5 years, right? And when we came back to Canada afterwards, we're just like, I started paying attention to the cars because you can tell a lot by the state of the cars of people, right? Because, it's one of those things that the average individual likes cars, but it's never the first place you're going to dump your money. It's normally on a need base, right?
Very few people are poor but have an amazing car, right?
Usually, if they do, you're a fucking idiot. But, but for the average person,
broadly speaking, it's probably a good indicator. I know what you're saying.
So I was driving around, and our truck is a 2016, but it's in really good shape, right? We take care of it.
Yep. So
it's almost 10 years old. Actually, it is. It is 10 years old. But there's no rust. There's no like, the truck is in amazing shape. But I challenge you, look at the cars in your neighborhood. Look how older the cars are getting, how more rusty those cars are getting compared to even 10 years ago, because it is no longer something that people have extra money to put in, right?
That reminds me of a tweet I saw. It was from some guy in the UK, and he was traveling America, and he said,
"Sure,
man, he's like, I thought we were all kind of on the same level, but he was like, I'm just at a regular ass RV park. He's like, it's just middle class, like nobody rich there. Every fucking person has a $90,000-$100,000 truck. Most, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's like, the one thing that he noticed about America was that everyone's got a nice fucking car. In America, like, I think all of us are we all think all in the West, we're all rich countries. We're all on the same page. I think we don't really realize, like that graph you just showed, how actually richer the average American is over the average Canadian, the average Brit. And that gap is getting more and more and more. And you can start to see politically and culturally, there's a gap between the rest of the West. It's almost like there's like an Islamic slash progressive West, Canada, UK, Germany, France, and then there's like a Judeo-Christian West that's led by America. And as someone in Canada, I look at this gap divide and I think, which way do you want to go, right? Which way, modern man? Which way, Canada? And right now, because Carney's a Europhile, he's clearly sending us in the European direction. And hopefully the next election, the next prime minister makes very clear that culturally, socially, economically, we want to be more aligned with America than with Europe.
But keep this in mind, though, because the mistake that UK person made, though, because again, I have an RV too, and I've traveled 20,000 miles in the past 3 years. That's why we have a truck to actually haul the travel trailer that we have, and we've hauled it from literally here to California and back, right?
Yep.
And you need a good truck. That's the thing. So, and a lot of people now live in RVs. Like a lot of people will live in their RV, will live in their trailer, of course, because you can.
It's kind of a cool lifestyle, to be honest.
Well, but not only that, but you might pay. We paid what, 30-40 grand for ours, and it's a good one, right? But it's not top notch, brand new of the year. So let's say that you do that, you might spend 100 grand on it. You buy a $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 truck to haul it. Let's say 200 grand between the two. That's try to find a house somewhere that costs that price, and you get to move it to wherever you want. Like right now, where we are in, and you know what, Trevor's bang on. That's basically my point. Unless you live that life, you don't realize it. But
makes sense.
Trevor says, I live in a travel trailer, no choice but to have a truck. My point exactly. That's why I'm happy because I love having.
I love put it that way. If that's your instead of a house,
that's $200,000 compared, and $200,000. You're talking top-notch fucking truck, and you're talking a really good-looking travel trailer, right? But the point is that compare that to buying a house. And when you're in the U.S., like our RVs in Alabama right now, you know how much it costs us at the campground that we're at? $400 US a month. And there's electricity. Wow. So literally we pay a few $100 a month for the RV that we put on 15 years when we got it. And then we pay and that's Canadian, and we pay about $400 a month to just have electricity in a spot. And the spot is probably 50 feet across by about 75 to 80 feet long. And we're paying $400 a month American. So maybe $550 a month. Let's call it $600. So between the RV and the spot costs us about let's say $800. Call it about $800 a month. $800 to $900 somewhere. Find that for a rent here.
Yeah, I guess when you put it that way, it's good. That's a good point.
But that's why people do it, right? Because houses is so fucking expensive. But as Trevor, is it Trevor?
Yeah,
I think so, right? As Trevor said, you need a fucking truck. You don't have a choice. Like my travel trailer is 12,000 pounds. You ain't pulling that with a fucking Rogue. You're not pulling that on a Rogue. Yeah.
Your Prius ain't gonna cut it.
No.
All right. Well, Cam Inc. says permanently lower growth will give Carney a reason to start home equity tax.
100%.
Go, boomer liberals. Nice
you're gonna fit right in, brother.
I would love.
Fit right in.
Yeah, I think this is the first time seeing Cam. Welcome, sir. Hopefully you stick around. I would love to see it. I mean, it would just be because we talked a lot about the demographics during the election when it was election time, and we've shown graphs showing every single age group.
Yeah.
Up to the 60-year-old was net conservative. And then you hit the boomers, and they were huge net liberal. So they're the ones who put Carney in place. And it's going to be them that really suffers for a home equity tax. And frankly, if you were looking for a solution to the housing crisis, and I say crisis because it's only a crisis if you're not in the ownership class. If you already are a homeowner, high prices are not a crisis. It's a gold mine.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to lower prices, probably a home equity tax would be a good way to do it. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if that's because I've heard that. I've heard Carney's going to do that. I still am skeptical. If he does, he has no political instincts whatsoever because that's his only base, and that would be a stake straight through their heart. But
Yeah, but like I said before, and not only do I believe that he's here to finish what Trudeau started, but I don't think he's going to run for he's going to be here for 4 years. I think that's not his intent. I think he's going to put the final stake in the coffin to align us with the WEF overlords in Europe. And then he's going to wash his hands. He's going to be out, and we're going to see another race to maybe Freeland's going to become fucking Prime Minister of Canada. Fuck.
Oh, that would be brutal. Well, who is the I guess the vice prime minister? There is one.
We don't have one in Canada.
I thought there was one. It's just not
no, it's not like the US. Like you're thinking, like right now, you would have the VP would take over Trump if he was shot, for example.
Yeah.
Vance would be sworn in.
It's a clear position in the States.
Well, he's been voted for, right? The VP is on the ballot with the president in the US, but we don't have that in Canada. That's why when Mr. Justin Trudeau sat down, left or quit, or however the fuck word you want to put on it, but stepped down, they had to have a party leadership in order to replace him, because we don't have that in Canada. We just don't have the equivalent of a VP, which is insane when you think about it. There should be somebody there to replace him.
Logan White here says it's deputy prime minister. I thought there was a position. I don't know though. I guess,
but it's not the equivalent. Maybe there is a position like a second in command, if you will, but he's not like the VP in the US.
Not guaranteed. Well, because the VP has an actual job. Like he actually does.
Unless you're Kamala Harris. Yes.
Yeah. He's a tie-breaking vote in the Senate and has some other duties, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Dick Cheney, your job is running the country. His job was president, but
behind the scene president.
Yeah, exactly right. Logan White, we need to get rid of these green energy emission caps 100%. Because that's just fucking over the oil and gas industry. Yeah, I saw a chart the other day.
Zing.
Like overwhelmingly emissions are caused by China. Canada's what, 1%, maybe less than 1%. There's literally nothing we could do. We could be the greenest economy in the world. It wouldn't make a dent. But it's classic liberal left thinking, right? It doesn't matter if you actually fix the problem. All that matters is that you look like you're fixing the problem.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're looking like fixing the problem actually causes lots of other problems, like a shit economy. None of that matters. All that matters is virtue signaling that you have devotion to woke left causes. So it's just a classic, it's a great comment by Logan. I mean, we are an oil and gas superpower. We could be.
We could be, yeah.
We got to get rid of this mentality that it's up to Canada to cut emissions, because there's nothing we can fucking do about it.
Yeah, here you go. Just to prove your argument or to prove your point right here. This is one of them right there. Just let me see if I can make it bigger. That's what she said. Here is, so that was in 2017, but it's basically, that hasn't changed much, but China is about 30% of the world's emission. The United States is at 14%, which I think the last numbers I've seen was 13.
Yeah.
And Canada, like this is obviously, Canada's right here at 2%. And those are the numbers I tend to see between 1% to 2%. Yet, if you factor in the amount of trees that we have in Canada, a lot of people out there argue that we don't produce any CO2. We probably are negative because of the vast amount of trees that we have in forests, which, for the people out there that don't understand, CO2 is tree food. So just putting it out there.
Yeah, and here's a more of a visual chart, if you will. This giant ass green bar on the left is China. This is China. United States is over here. This tiny little one over here, that's Canada. So yeah, we should definitely sync our economy to fix these emissions. Like
100%.
Anything that we could cut in terms of emissions, China's just going to make over. China's just going to make over there, right? So, 100%. Like, if we say, let's cut emissions by not making product X, then China's just going to make product X at a much higher emissions rate. It's nonsense.
And we're going to end up buying it from them instead of producing it
at a higher cost
for virtue signaling.
It'll end up more emissions in the end. It's just.
You know what I always like? The next time you have a woke liberal tell you that we need to cut on emissions, just ask them, what's your cell phone? Do you have an Apple? Oh, yeah, shit. Oh, that's awesome. It's a good thing that those are not made by little kids in China, right? So, like, fucking crying liberals are always going to be tearing up as long as it doesn't impact them, right?
Yeah, that's right.
How many times, in the US, I love when people go around and they're like, hey, I have a family right here. They're looking for a house. Would you host them at your house? Oh,
No.
well, I can't.
No.
This is other people's
Canada
problems.
should open
Right?
its doors to all the poor people of the world. Okay, are you personally going to open your doors to poor people? Oh, of course not. Completely different thing. No, it isn't. It's literally the exact
It's
same
the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Learjet says 33 watching, 12 likes. Give some love to the orphans. Yes, we will definitely reiterate Leah's thoughts there, guys. If you're watching, please like the stream, share the stream, and if you really want to support the show, support independent media, which apparently we are, and you want to help build this community that we're trying to help build this community that we're trying to build, where common sense people from all over the left and right can get together and have the important discussions. Please consider joining or becoming a member through the YouTube. For the low price of $2.99 a month, you get to do all of that. Support the show, help independent media, and of course, become part of the community here. Yep, but
there's a lot of great comments out there.
Shit ton. Yeah, we'll take another couple and then we'll move
on.
Yeah. Logan says the fact that refugees get $8,000 a month while Canadians with disability get $200 a month is disgusting, and that is absolutely correct.
Leave that there afterwards, because I actually just posted about this. I did another good hour of research prior to the show, so thank you. I wanted to talk about that. So.
Yeah. That's well, I mean, it's look. There frankly should be how many people here are on asylum claims? We talked about the other day. It was like 400 and something thousand. Is that correct?
So this is the number. So the number that I had found was 470,000 people were currently in Canada. Now hold on. I did some research and it is not quite accurate. The real number is this. So here's the post that I made earlier. If you guys just want to see the visual, because a lot of people are visuals out there, so it just makes it clearer. But it's funny, I literally just posted that 1 minute before the show. So basically in Canada right now there are 173,756 asylum claims that are being handled from 2025, but there were still 250,000. Sorry, in 2024, there was 173,000 claim received by Canada. But by the end of the year of 2024, there was more than 250,000 outstanding claims. So right now, you have at least 250,000 claims right now, because if you add the new from this year. But this is where things get interesting, is that the average claim wait time for a first-level immigration and refugee board decision is 17 to 24 months, with some cases taking up to 2.5 years. And because asylum seekers must be physically in Canada or at a Canadian port of entry to apply for refugee protection, Canadians are on the hook to provide for them as they wait judgment. It's estimated that asylum claims in 2024 alone have cost Canadian taxpayers between $6.5 to $7.1 billion. The split is the monthly costs that an asylum seeker will receive depending on how many people in the family, depending in the province, ranges somewhere from $1,200 to $2,000 a month. Then you will have application processing fees, like what
also,
it takes
yeah, you got to pay for their lodge. Like when we say $8,000, I don't think that means they get $8,000 cash in their account. I mean, we are spending. Canada's spending $8,000 in total.
Like those, like the numbers that just came out saying that $2.6 billion had been spent on hotels. It's $1.1 billion on hotels since 2007. But then you start looking that the application process is it costs Canadian about $16,500 per application. The salaries for IRB Immigration Canada and CBSA, they estimate to be between $515 million to $615 million. And the direct cost, because don't forget, as you mentioned, you have housing, you have healthcare, you have social assistance, and a lot of them, I did not realize that, but they get legal aid. So they are represented by government lawyers in order to help them with their claims. So as per the numbers that I could calculate this morning, we are looking at $6.5 to $7.1 billion that asylum claims have cost Canadian in 2024 alone.
That's it's wild, man. And look,
That could have been, you know, how we could have sent that money to Zelensky. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that's more money we could be sending to Zelensky. Exactly, right? So just think about the wasted dollars. I mean,
you start looking at all those numbers, the dumb fucking money that we sent to Zelensky, the amount of money that we spent on asylum seekers, and those are not refugees. This is just asylum seekers. This is not immigration as a whole. This is not the million plus foreigners that we have in Canada right now that are either permanent resident, that are on a student visa, or that are temporary workers. Because remember, those are the numbers that we see, somewhere around 1.1 million. This is not the cost for the 1.1 million. This is the cost just for the asylum seekers. It's fucking insane.
Well, and
absolutely insane.
Clearly, the system is being heavily abused. Asylum actually means something. It does not mean you can't come from a poor country and claim asylum, right? Just being from a poor country is not a valid reason for asylum. The other thing is you have to declare at the very first safe country you come to. Just by Canada's geography, we should probably have 1,000 on the books max. There's no when you see a number like that, 200,000, whatever, you know that there's serious fraud going on. If you are an illegal immigrant down in the United States and you're worried about getting deported, you should not be able to come to Canada and declare asylum. That's not how it fucking works. There are actual rules, and you know. It's pretty wild that I guess, you know, everything is in slavish devotion to woke far left ideology these days. There was a comment that I just wanted to see. Trinity Bryan says 42 million pay 8K. That's not what's keeping me from buying a car. I'm not really sure exactly what you mean, but I think I get the gist of it. But we're talking about what, 200,000, 250,000, and it's costing us $8,000 per month per person. Per month. So you're looking at roughly 95,000 a year. So if you multiply 95,000 by 250,000, that's the number that you get. We did it the other day. I don't know if you want to do it now, but it was something like $1 billion and a half per year. That's a lot of fucking money when your country is in permanently lower GDP growth. You've had 1% GDP growth for 10 years. And no, none of that is preventing anyone from buying a car, but it is preventing us from having a good healthcare system. It is preventing us from having good roads. It is preventing us from having good infrastructure. It is preventing us from having good education system. This stuff actually matters. It's not some abstract thing that just exists in the ether. It's real life that we're talking about.
And Trinity Bryan, I literally just shared the numbers with you. So I don't know where you're taking that 8K from. Was it from a previous comment? But all to say that the numbers I showed you are government numbers. Those are numbers I took from government websites. Yeah, those are not just numbers I'm pulling out of my ass here.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the
no, it's the 42 million is he's assuming the population of Canada.
Okay, but pays 8,000. That's 8,000 per month per person, and there's 250,000 of them. So I mean, do the math.
Yeah. So again,
I promise you, brother, it's a whole lot more than 0.0001 cents per month per Canadian. It's a whole lot more than that.
Again,
I do appreciate we appreciate the comments though. All comments are welcome, guys. We're just trying to have a good discussion here. At the end of the day, like we say all the time, we're just trying to get it right. But yeah, like this is I believe that I believe in actual asylum claims where people's lives are actually in danger. Coming from a poor country, that's not a legitimate asylum claim. It just isn't. If you're illegally in the United States and you don't want to get deported, that's not a legitimate asylum claim. It's just not.
So if you want to be anal like I am and you want to have the exact number, that means that give or take at 40 million in Canada, you're looking at about $13.54 a month per Canadian. That's what asylum seekers.
Saying the 8,000 claim is false.
I literally just gave you the numbers, so I don't know what we're arguing about here. Like literally, I literally just gave you the numbers that it's anywhere between $1,200 to $2,000 per depending on the province. Quebec gives the most, between $1,500 to $2,000. And then you need to add legal fees. You need to add the housing fees. You need to add certain provinces. They give them child credits. You need to start adding the healthcare cost. You need to start adding all the social services that they use. So at the end of the day, man, 8,000, is it high? Yeah, probably, but not that high, because if you've ever been on the show before, I just redid the numbers. I recalculated the numbers just for healthcare alone. It's $9,500 a year that it costs taxpayers money for every single Canadian. So when you start putting those numbers together, you're looking at another $800, $900 a month per person, family of 4 times 4. So 8 to 9, you know what? 9,000 is not that far-fetched, or 8,000 is not that far-fetched.
How much do you think it costs to live in a hotel? I guarantee those hotels are not giving discount rates. They're probably more expensive because those people don't give a fuck about the rooms. I would never want to rent my hotel to asylum seekers, because guaranteed they're not treating it the way I would as a Canadian. Like you're starting to see asylum seekers catching birds on the side of the street to fucking eat them. So don't give me this shit, right? It's different culture, and I'm not bringing them down. It is just a simple fact that you don't expect a guy from India to act like a Canadian when he shows up here as an asylum seeker. Like, no, it does not work that way. Either way. Want to switch up to the next story? Yeah. I just want to take this one from Derek Sittler, because I believe this might be his first time commenting.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Don't get me fucking started on this one,
we talked about this a year or two ago.
Bitch.
They've opened up asylum claims to genders too. Yeah, if you're like LGBTQ, you get special. Yep. You get special priority. You get your income paid for a year. Any claim of oppression is validated here. Yeah, because far left woke ideology thrives on the victimizer, oppressor / oppressed dichotomy. If you claim to be oppressed, you are at the
you
top
are
of the
oppressed.
You are oppressed. All that matters is lived experience, baby. Reality, fuck that shit. Lived experience, man. And all that matters to lived experience is what you say your lived experience is, because everyone knows, no one would ever lie, right? Everyone's always honest. Everyone's completely honest, especially when it comes to money. Nobody would ever lie for free money. Never.
What the fuck? Do you expect people to be dishonest? Can't believe that. Man, what a liberal mindset you have,
brother. You're gonna give me a year's income. I'll be LGBTQ. I don't give a fuck. You know,
you aren't.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were gay the whole time, man.
Fuck, I thought you were already. What the fuck? We're definitely not on the same page here, bro. From the get-go, I thought you sucked dick on the weekend. I was sure.
No.
Huh.
No, I'm the top.
Well, that doesn't mean you don't suck dick. That just means you do it from the top.
I mean, I don't know. I actually don't know the ins and outs. You sound like you know gay sex a whole lot more than me. I assume tops don't suck. I don't know.
Bro, I'm French. It's not gay. We've talked about this before.
Gay for the pay. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
or pay for the gay. Either way. I just wanted to show this next video. We saw part of it in the last video, but I think it's important just to show that the Bank of Canada announced yesterday that they will hold their interest rate for the third time in a row at 2.75. So, this is bad, because on one hand, remember what they said, and I think they're going to talk about it in this video, but they're saying that we are probably going to avoid a recession, maybe, but at the same time that it's all Trump's fault. So shouldn't they be making that interest rate lower to encourage economy growth? Because that's how it works. It's not a very complicated it's not a very complicated principle, but yeah, let's just listen to this. I think the video is like literally 50 seconds long. So let's just listen to the Bank of Canada.
Today, Governing Council held the policy interest rate at 2 3/4%. This decision reflects three main considerations. First, uncertainty about U.S. tariffs on Canada is still high. Discussions between Canada and the United States are ongoing. and U.S. policy remains unpredictable. Second, while U.S. tariffs are disrupting trade, so far Canada's economy is showing some resilience. And third, inflation is close to our 2% target, but we see evidence of underlying inflation pressures. U.S. GDP came out this morning for the second quarter, and you saw a huge drop in U.S. imports that boosted U.S. GDP. Well, that big drop in their imports, that's a big drop in our exports to the United States. That's the flip side of it.
What? Okay, hold on. I don't understand the point he's trying to make here. So basically, we're not going to lower the interest rate to try to help our economy because the States is not buying our exports anymore, and that's why their GDP is so high, and that's why our GDP is so low over the past 10 years, as the graph that I showed earlier. Like, what the fuck are they saying?
I don't even
like, those guys are politicians too.
Fuck yeah!
Like, what the fuck are they saying?
It is a myth that central bankers are separate from politics.
Mark Carney?
Yeah, they absolutely are politicians. Interest rates affect so much of the economy. There's no way that politics is not going to get involved there.
No.
I think I don't know. I don't know too much about central banking. I think it's probably the right move to hold right now. Unless I think we got to wait and see what America's going to do, because we don't really we're just in reaction mode. We've said we don't hold any cards. I think Carney thought that he was going to be able to elbows up his way into a deal, but it's not gonna fly. Basically, we just have to hope. Really, the best thing to do is just flatter fucking Trump's ego, because he's clearly he has narcissistic personality. There are ways you can manipulate him, but you have to understand his personality. He's vindictive, he's petty, but he's got a huge ego. And if you flatter him, you can get shit out of him. Carney went the other way.
Yeah.
Carney went the other way. Carney went, oh yeah, we're gonna play tough. We're gonna play the big boy with the economy that's 10 times our economy. We have nothing. And of course, went around insulting him and making it seem like, doing everything he could to antagonize him. Inviting Zelensky to the G7, something we're going to talk about in the next story, which is the Palestine thing, recognizing Palestine as a state, regardless of, we'll talk about that when the time comes. I see Jason jumped in the chat, and I'm sure he's got some takes on that. My take is it's really irrelevant what you think is right or wrong. You have to do what's right for the Canadian economy. And right
100%.
now, antagonizing the U.S. president is not the right move for the Canadian economy.
And this is the perfect segue. So before we take some comments, I'm just going to run that story, because this is exactly where I was going. And you're absolutely right by saying that we're in a trade. We're trying to set up a trade agreement with our ally, with the U.S., that buys 75% of our exports, that we have a deadline that is tonight at 11:59 and 59 seconds, which is, well, it's even less now. It's just over 10 hours. And we still don't have a deal. We have a guy in Trump that says that, you know what, we're already celebrating August 1st. We're going to add another 35% on copper. And now you have our prime minister that is using virtue signaling in order to really fucking piss off Donald Trump by saying that he's going to recognize Palestine as a state at the UN in September.
The level of human suffering in Gaza is intolerable. Canada has long been committed to a two-state solution. An independent, viable, and sovereign Palestinian state living side by side with the state of Israel in peace and security. For decades, it was hoped that this outcome would be achieved as part of a peace process built around a negotiated settlement between the Israeli government and the Palestinian Authority. Regrettably, this approach is no longer tenable. Canada intends to recognize the state of Palestine at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September 2025. This intention is predicated on the Palestinian Authority's commitment to much-needed reforms, including commitment by the Palestinian Authority's President Abbas to fundamentally reform its governance, to hold general elections in 2026 in which Hamas can play no part, and to demilitarize the Palestinian state.
Does he think Hamas is going to give up power?
And it will increase
Yes.
its efforts.
Because they said so, right?
Democratic governments in Palestine and the contributions of its people to a more peaceful and hopeful future.
Wild, man. Look,
And right away, before you go, I'm just going to present one more thing. It's going to take 2 seconds. It kind of it's going to just wrap everything together. But this, as soon as Carney made that remark yesterday, we saw a post from the throne. And by throne, I mean the toilet of Donald Trump. He was probably sitting, taking a dump, and he just tweeted, wow, Canada has just announced that it is backing statehood for Palestine. That will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada. Why the fuck could that not wait 24 hours?
That's my point. That's my point.
However you feel about this, let's
Yes.
say that you agree. Let's say
Yeah.
that you agree. I don't,
wait.
but let's say 24 hours. But no, but
Just
no.
Massive unforced error. That's what when we decided to talk about this, I think was even really going to be on the Palestine Israel, like whether I agree with the decision. Because like you said, even if you think that's the right decision, and
Sure.
I don't think I don't, because again, this is just such a complex issue. I almost washed my hands of it. But if I had to pick a solution, I think the two-state solution was the best of a lot of bad options. It has been what is official policy for all of the West for a very long time. But regardless of any of that, even if it's the right call, fucking wait 24 hours until after the deal is done. Why? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Like, how does this further Canada's interests? Stop being worried about fucking towing the line or making sure virtue signaling to left-wing causes. And there's a lot to say, I think, about the actual decision in and of itself. People have said it rewards the terrorism, because even in Carney's tweet, I think the actual video, I think it cut out this part, but where he says his reasons for it. I'll show you here.
Let me just remove that.
Yeah, it's a little small, but he says, regrettably, because he's talking about how he used to support a two-state solution. He says, regrettably, this approach is no longer tenable. Prospects for a two-state solution have been steadily and gravely eroded, including by the first point, the pervasive threat of Hamas terrorism and its people, culminating in the heinous terrorist attacks of October 7th. So he's saying, okay, look, the two-state solution's not going to work, and we're going to reward Palestine because of the terrorist attacks that Hamas has committed. You're essentially rewarding terrorism. So, I mean, that argument to me holds a lot of water. But overall, my official take is really has nothing to do with whether that was the right call or not. It's why the fuck couldn't you wait 24 hours?
48 hours. It's September. You're looking at least a month and a half, maybe 2 months from now. Why the fuck did you need to talk about it right now to make sure to piss off Trump? Again, everything that man does is done on purpose. I'm telling you, that guy is not. Do not underestimate Mark Carney. He is a Marxist. He is a smart one, and everything that he does is purposeful. He knows what he's doing. No, if you understand that he's not stupid, that means he's doing this on purpose. That means, what's his goal? Finish what Trudeau started. And every move that he makes, it seems to me that he's just trying to piss off Trump so that he can blame victimhood. He's going to claim victimhood. Like tomorrow morning, look at this. Oh, we weren't able to make a deal because,
because maybe that's why. I don't know. That's stupid then. But and people could say, oh, well, it's Trump's fault. Why would he let this
he shouldn't let that insult him. Yeah,
but
that's
look,
who he is.
That's who he is. That's his personality. He's petty as fuck. He's vindictive. We can sit here and complain all we want, but that's like sitting out in the rain, complaining about the rain, complaining that the wind is blowing. Wind blows, rain rains. That's what they do. Donald Trump is petty and vindictive. That's what he does. We don't get to pick the U.S. president. All we get to do is deal play the cards that were dealt, and Carney is playing them terribly.
Again, this is where we disagree. It's all on purpose. He knows exactly what he's doing because it's serving his purpose.
Well, exactly.
We
Walken
agree.
agrees with you. He says he's doing it on purpose, boys. I mean, look, I still
100%.
just can't wrap my mind around that our leader would be doing this intentionally. But I also am not blind, and I'm looking at these things. And I'm thinking, oh, it's getting harder and harder to hold on to that position. And also, Walken, I'd seen that you had mentioned just briefly up there, and I'll get to Straight Canadian's comment. You asked about the hat, where I got it. I got it on Amazon. Just type in like military khaki hat. I also got a green one. They're like $10.
Just had homosexual in front of it, and it'll make it easier to find.
Homosexual military khaki hat.
It's your face. You're the model for that brand too. Hey. Oh, shit. I just realized I'm wearing actually a green military shirt. Oh,
you're up there too. You're a model too.
I'm the model for the t-shirts. You're the model for the hats.
Yeah. Straight Hey, his allegiance is sworn to the king, not
I
Canadians.
agree, and I agree with that.
I'm still not there yet, guys, but every day it seems like I'm getting dragged, kicking and screaming closer to that position.
Just so you guys understand, for the new people here that don't know this story, Rob and I have been recording this for almost 5 months, 2 hours a day, and I've been a conservative the whole time. I've been a conservative forever. Rob is a liberal, but you know the joke. What do you call a common sense liberal? A conservative. But Rob, every day, every week, he seems that he's getting closer and closer and closer in the conservative mindset, but he just cannot bring himself to call himself a conservative. You'll see if you stick around. It's fucking hilarious. We laugh at it every day almost, and it's just the truth. It's just the truth.
No.
He does not want to be a conservative, but he sounds like one.
You guys can drag me over kicking and screaming.
But
I agree in this.
We have cookies. We've been through this before. We have cookies.
One of us.
And our women are hot and they're not crazy. Well, not as crazy. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Not as crazy. They don't have purple hair. They don't look like butches. Just saying.
That I do agree with you that in this moment, a common sense liberal does sound like a conservative. I just don't think it has to be that way. I think society needs a common sense political faction that wants to keep the status quo and stands for order and stability, and then a common sense political faction that wants to try to progress things. And then if they have dialogue, they can probably, like good faith dialogue, they can get to probably the sweet spot. And that's essentially what this show is supposed to be about. It's supposed to model. But yeah, it does feel like sometimes I'm getting dragged kicking and screaming over to the right, but I'll fight it. I'll fight it
bro,
every day.
as always, Sylvie brings it to the next level by saying that Rob is sort of a gay conservative. He'll cross the line enough.
Where's this even come from, bro? My body count is out of this world, man. It's
Sylvie,
like,
it is true. I think what Sylvie means is that Rob is a closet conservative. It's just a matter of time before he comes out.
Oh,
hey!
So deep in the closet, he's finding Christmas presents,
or he's sucking dicks. Whatever.
Yeah, one or two.
Misfits. But hold on, before we. Oh shit, Misfit.
Yeah,
fucker, bro. It's been a while.
Yeah, welcome back, sir. Our newest member, our newest orphan,
our newest remember newest.
Yes,
hey guys, by the way, if you're on X, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to reshare the stream. But the conversation, as you see, is happening on YouTube. So make sure to join us. Leave X for 2 hours a day, just 2 hours. Come to YouTube, join the conversation. Once you're there, make sure to like. So everybody that's on YouTube right now, like. And if you don't like us, dislike it. I'm okay with that. I want to know that you don't like us. Doesn't matter. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Actually, you know what? No, you're going to hurt my feelings. You're really, really going to hurt my feelings if you click on dislike. So make sure to click on dislike. But the point is, if you're on YouTube, like, comment. And if you believe in independent media, if you believe that the left and the right should be able to speak, disagree, agree, but do it in a way where we can drive a conversation that is civil discourse, then encourage us. $2.99 a month is our subscription. And as you see, Misfit, he rejoined the shit. What's the term I want? The sect.
Yeah, the cult.
One of us.
Yeah, he's one of us. Our newest orphan.
Before we take some comments, though, it's interesting because there's somebody in there that mentioned, have you guys seen the video of the guy in Gaza or Israel, and he's showing all the food in the UN that's just standing there. Yes, I did. I shared it this morning, and I have it queued up. You're reading my fucking mind.
Sweet,
This is
sweet.
how awesome our listeners
audience
are.
is.
Our commenters are on the fucking ball. But this is the video he's referring to. I don't know if you saw it. I reposted it this morning, and very fucking interesting. Listen to this.
This is a monument to the catastrophic failure of the United Nations to deliver aid into Gaza. Hundreds upon hundreds of pallets of aid just rotting in the sun instead of being delivered to the people who need it. The UN prefers blaming Israel, bitching about Israel. The reality, incompetence. And it's blaming Israel to cover up for that criminal negligence. The UN should do its job. Get the food to the people who need it, make sure that Hamas cannot steal it, and then pressure Hamas to accept a ceasefire that will release the hostages who are being starved inside the dungeons of Gaza, relinquish power, and let everyone put this horrible war that Hamas started behind us.
Now, I'm not sharing this because I believe that he's right. I'm not sharing this because I don't believe that he's right. I'm sharing this because the guy is supposedly on the ground. He is in Kerem Shalom crossing in the Gaza Strip, pointing out that this is UN food that is just sitting there rotting in the sun. The only reason I shared this on my social this morning, and I'm showing it to you guys right now, is to show something that goes against what mainstream media is telling us. This is all I'm doing. I'm not saying that he's right. I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm just presenting a piece of information that is currently going viral right now. And can you imagine if that's true? That's all I'm doing. Imagine that this is true. Imagine that the narrative that we're being pushed by mainstream media is wrong, which obviously it wouldn't be the first fucking time. But all I'm saying, I'm presenting a different side of the argument. And can you imagine if that's the case? I'm just proposing the idea that maybe the UN is indeed sitting on all that food, and instead of putting it in the mouth of Palestinians, they're sitting on it to make Israel look bad. Because that's what the guy's basically claiming. Is it true? Is it not? You'll have to make up your mind. I just want to arouse your curiosity. Looking at what the UN does, looking at the fact that, guys, maybe you don't know this, but you know that Mark Carney was the special envoy to climate change of the United Nations. So he has strong connections to the UN. He just talked about backing Palestine as a state. So you're starting to see that there are connections there. Am I saying that that's what's going on? Maybe, but I do have a tinfoil hat over there for a reason. I am a conspiracy theorist at heart. Yep. I'm just pointing. I'm not going to get the board out and start crisscrossing all the images with lines and red strings and shit, but I'm just saying, is it that hard to believe that what that guy's saying is true, although mainstream media is telling us a completely different story?
Did you see the New York Times story the other day that they even retracted? It showed a picture of that like emaciated boy, and the story was that Israel was starving him. Turns out they actually the actual picture had his very healthy brother beside him that the New York Times cropped out.
Of course, yeah,
because the kid, like, he was actually emaciated, but he's sick. He had some disease that he would have looked like that in Canada or any other country too. So it was completely misrepresented. And you know, it's bad when even the New York Times is going to retract it. But yeah, of course they did retract it. And then Antifa vandalized the New York Times head office. This only happened yesterday, but pretty typical. But it does seem like there's an agenda. And like you said, it is. I think you want to keep a skeptical eye on especially anything to do with Israel-Palestine on both sides, because there's definitely strong propaganda on both sides. It's hard to get to the kernel of the truth, but what he says there, do I believe it could be true? Absolutely, I do. That clearly is a lot of aid behind him. That's real. That exists. So that gives him some credibility. Why is that not in there? Is the argument that Israel's not allowing it? I don't think that's true.
This is the question, right? And again, I always look at both sides of the argument, no matter if I agree or disagree with it. Right now, do I believe that this is true? It wouldn't surprise me, but I have no proof. I'm not on the ground. I'm not over there. That's why, that is also why I don't want to get involved in that conflict whatsoever. I talk about it because it's trending right now, and I don't understand why Carney had to say something that stupid.
That's the takeaway.
On the day, 24 hours before the fucking deadline, fully knowing that would piss off Trump because he's a massive Israel supporter. Let's call a spade here. Why the fuck did he talk about it? This is my point. And then I saw that video. I think it's Moose on the Loose that was showing it this morning. I'm like, oh, motherfucker. And I shared it because I want to see what people think about it. I just want to open people's vision to what are the two sides of the argument. And normally the truth is somewhere in the middle. Normally.
And there are definitely people who'll be like, oh, well, he just has to do what's right. He can't be worried about what Trump is going to do or say. And those people should be nowhere near government, because that's what fucking government is dealing with reality. You don't get to pick and choose. Okay, maybe it feels nice to virtue signal something, but if it fucks your country over, you don't do it.
That could have been easily avoided by shutting the fuck up for 24, 48 hours. Literally. Sign that deal, easy. Like put your name on that deal, easy. And then continue with your elbows up saying all the dumb shit you want, but you could have shut the fuck up for 24 to 48 hours. That's the whole point of this fucking segment. Hard concept to understand.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. All right, we'll take a couple comments here. Dennis H says, Rob, you would be vindictive too. Oh, he's talking about when I was calling Trump petty and vindictive. If you have been through the personal persecution and lies that Trump has been through, I have no, I wouldn't argue at all. I completely agree. He's been treated terribly, but I'm pretty sure this is his personality going ways a long back. He's always been that guy that if you hit him, he's going to come back 10 times harder. And that's, I know people like that. I've probably been like that once or twice in my life. I think we all have, right? I don't even, not even saying that's a massive character flaw, but it's a personality trait, and you have to be aware of it if you're dealing with this guy in a major negotiation. You have to.
There was an interview with what's his name, Dana White, the guy that runs the UFC, and they're good friends, right? Him and Trump are very good friends, and he was explaining how even just after he got shot, because he made an appearance within a week or two after he got shot, he was at the UFC, and he's in public. He's just like, okay, I'm going to continue appearing in public. That didn't stop him. But the point I'm trying to make is that Dana White was explaining the type of person that Trump is. Like the guy or not, remove how you feel about that guy for a second. He was just talking about his resiliency, how he was not fazed by it. Like the world talks about him. He is the most spoken about guy on the fucking planet. And supposedly that behind closed doors, he's just business as usual. Let's fucking run. Let's fucking do what I got to do. Fuck what people think. He doesn't even worry about it. That's insane if that's true.
I think that he was going to win anyways, but that moment, like that absolutely.
Mark Zuckerberg, actually the biggest fucking leftist, almost cried in an interview. That was the most.
I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anybody says. You take a bullet to the fucking ear and you stand up and say, "Fight, fight, fight." If that didn't affect you as a man, then you're not a man.
Actually, I had a softie. Like I had
the weirdest boner right now. That, like, I don't care what anyone says. That is just impressive. It just is, and that is unfortunately whether I say unfortunately because speaking as someone from the left, because
is that what
people,
you mean?
People who want to pretend like every single thing Donald Trump does is bad and he's this terrible person, terrible leader. That's fucking leadership, man. Like that is the stuff. That's the kind of shit that makes people want to follow you. Like if you're in war, if you're in battle, and that's your sergeant, your captain, you're going to go into battle with that guy. And it was hilarious, the discourse after that happened, because the lefties were like, it was always, oh, Joe, come on, Joe, he got shot, he didn't set that up, a motherfucker got murdered, killed behind him, that guy. What's the okay, let's indulge this for a sec. So Like, what's the theory behind
rabbit
it? Like,
incoming rabbit hole? I
No,
should
but,
have
like,
a
seriously,
I should have a special animation that I can just queue up and say incoming.
but like,
rabbit
what
hole.
is the conspiracy theory that he got someone, because there was a real shooter and real bullets were shot because a guy died behind him. So Trump set it up. He knew he was going to get shot. I don't know that he's going to get the shot. Okay, make sure you only miss me by this. Like, I don't know, man. That's I would disbelieve that for the same reason I would disbelieve a lot of other conspiracy theories. It just doesn't fit any type of logic or rationality. Did he exploit it? Sure, probably. Like, when he went out a week after with that giant ass bandage on his head? Yeah, that was probably theater. But I don't think he was there with a bottle of fake blood, because he had blood in his ear, correct? Like, immediately after it. Like, that was that. Am I wrong?
I'm laughing because, you know what? No matter how, there's no way for me to know. And as a conspiracy theorist, to me, it's as relevant that he did it or he did not. I can see both sides of the argument, but the point in the matter is, whatever you believe, if it happened or not, what he did afterwards was one of the most badass thing I've ever seen.
Well, it worked.
So, oh fuck! Of course it did.
It was an incredible marketing scheme. Too bad for the guy behind him that got shot and murdered. But I don't know. I don't know how you can pull that off.
This is why I was laughing, though. Wise guy saying, if you ask me, Donald Trump did the WWF razor trick. WWF, man, you're showing your age there, wise guy, because it's WWE. But yeah.
Well, okay, possibly. But that means that, I mean, we know the shooter's real and we know the bullets are real because someone got killed. So if he had the presence of mind to nick his ear in that moment and then say fight, then okay, I still give him props. Yeah, I'll still say, yeah, good job, man.
And you know, as Joe's saying, Trump has enough experience with the WWE to pull that off. And it wouldn't even, either way, it wouldn't surprise me, because people have been trying to shoot him. There's been 3 or 4 guys in the past couple of years that try to kill him. So I mean, is it real? Yeah. Is it real? Is it all theater? Maybe. That wouldn't surprise me either way. But the point in the matter is that what he did afterwards was pretty badass.
Was badass.
It was. If it was great acting, Trump's a lot better actor than I give him credit for.
I guess possibly he could have nicked himself. I suppose I could believe that. At the end of the day, though, like I said, we know the shooter is real because he got killed. We know the bullets are real because someone behind Trump got murdered, that firefighter guy. So there was someone actually shooting at him, and he still stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. If he nicked his ear or not to get some extra sympathy, then that's just quick thinking on his part. If the argument is that he set it up, I'd find that a little difficult to believe that he would put his own life in the hands of some fucking far left. Did you see that guy, dude? Like this low T woke far left idiot. I don't know if I'd put myself up there knowing he's shooting at me, even if he swore he was going to miss. But speaking of Joe, here's another comment from him. The goal for the working class to realize that we all have more in common with each other than we ever will with the owners whose rhetoric divides us. And that's a great comment, Joe. I could not agree with you more. And it's kind of the spirit of this show is to try to
disagree with Joe. I agree.
Yeah. That's the entire point. To get away from the media framing of, if you're a liberal, you have to hate the other side. You're conservative, you have to hate the other side. We actually do have more in common than we think, or the media would have us think, as long as you approach it with good faith and in common sense.
And this is exactly why we've been doing this show every day for the past few months. I think we're episode 129.
Is it really
right
that many?
now? Yeah, man. 129 episode today. And that's why we do it. Because again, Rob and I are going to disagree on a lot of things, but most of the time we agree that there's a problem. We disagree on the solution. We disagree on what the end result should be. But the point is that we still have those conversations every day. We have conversations with leftists like Joe, and as a Christian conservative, he doesn't like my religion, but that doesn't stop us from being able to have a conversation literally every single day. And this is the point. So if you do believe in what we're doing, just subscribe to the YouTube channel, because right now there's so many more viewers than the likes that I see on the video. So just if you're on there, you're just going to help us out with the algorithm, because let's be honest here, there's nobody else that does what we do. There's no other show, especially not in Canada, and I would argue in the US, that there's not another show where you have a lefty and a righty that argue shit every single day, that interact with so many of their commenters every single fucking day. So if you do believe in what we're doing, just subscribe, comment, and subscribe if you want to encourage independent media, because I'm more conservative than the conservatives, and Rob is more liberal than the woke liberal, at least in a classical sense.
Yes.
So all to say that we are political orphans. We do not have a party that represents both our values, different values too. And if that's where you sit and you want to continue to talk about it, this is a place to be. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, and encourage us. $2.99 a month. Want to take some comments, or shall we change to the next story?
We'll take one or two. I kind of want to get into this a little bit. So back to the shooting. Sylvie says Rob thinks they wouldn't kill innocent people for false flag purposes. No, I mean that's not necessarily what I'm saying. I just want to know what if Trump wasn't shot, I just want to know what the theory is. Are they saying there was no one shooting at all? Because I don't think that's true. I believe there was a shooter.
No, but that's not what that's not what Sylvie's saying. Basically, a false flag is just saying
I know what that
something's
is.
organized, right? It's just it was organized by the government to look a certain way, no matter the casualties.
What is the benefit? Because the benefit clearly boosted Trump. Typically the false flag arguments are made by conservatives for something that benefits a left-wing cause. Like who's doing the false flags to boost Trump? I guess
Trump,
is my question.
Trump himself.
So I mean, wow, okay, I guess so. So the theory is that he set the shooter up there and just said, "Don't hit me."
Even as an outsider to American politics, as someone that spends a lot of my time there, that was one of the most badass fucking move I've ever seen in my life. Getting back up right away, fight as your ears bleeding. And then you have the midget security agents trying to escort you off stage, or the Secret Service, the midget Secret Service. That was one of the most badass things. So if it was organized, if it was planned, brilliant fucking strategy right there, right? Because it was absolutely fucking brilliant. No matter what, no matter if you believe that it happened or not, if it was done on purpose or not, the effect was still the same.
Sure. Well, I think we can all agree there was a shooter. I guess it's debatable who put him there or what the actual intention was. Did Trump know about it? I don't know. I guess we'll never know. But if he didn't get shot and he just thought up that in the moment, then that's pretty quick thinking. If he knew about it and that's why he was able to sort of come up with that so quick, then I mean that's pretty ballsy that he would put himself up there with that guy there shooting and just be like, yeah, don't shoot too far, just make sure you only miss me. But people advise police there was someone on the roof with a gun. They did nothing. Well, that seems to me like I could actually believe the theory that Secret Service didn't really care too much if Trump got shot or not. I could believe that. I mean, that doesn't sound that crazy.
So basically, you don't believe that Trump did it himself, but you believe that the deep state behind the CIA would have used a shooter to try to take him out. So no matter how you look at it, you believe in a conspiracy.
Well, no. I actually think
your tinfoil hat should be
if I had to pick
you right there.
If I had to pick, it's down there. If I had to pick, I think it's probably what it is. The wacko leftist tried to murder Donald Trump and he missed him. And someone got shot, and the Secret Service was incompetent. I mean, when I look at the Secret Service agents around him, like 2 or 3 women that were like 5'2", it's not a huge shock to me that there's some incompetence there. I just, not that women can't do jobs, but there are probably some jobs that
a 5'2" woman cannot protect a 6 something.
Yeah, just if I see that as the decision making, I know there's probably incompetence somewhere along the chain. Yeah. So it doesn't shock me that they could have ignored reports of a shooter.
So you know what? Let's switch topics.
Yep.
I wanted to show something. I should have showed it yesterday, but for some reason I didn't think about it. So blame's on me. But here is, that a couple of days ago, not yesterday night, but the night before, there was a debate in Alberta in the by-election of Poilievre. And you know that in that riding, there's a woman by the name of Bonnie Critchley that is running against Poilievre. Like she's gaining a lot of attention because CBC backs her. Surprising fuckingly, they're backing the butch lesbian to go after Poilievre.
Yep.
But I just wanted to show, there's the video by Northern Perspective where they're reacting to the closing comments of the closing remarks, the closing comments after the debate. But I just wanted to show you guys the kind of the closing argument of Mr. Pierre Poilievre and then hers. And then the PPC, because I know Sylvie's a big fan of the PPC. So I just wanted to show you and tell me, just from what you hear, who would you vote for?
Well, thank you very much. And thank you to all the candidates on the stage. I think it's been a great debate. What do you think? A great conversation, and it's not even over yet. And I want to thank all of you. And most importantly, in addition to the great Damien Couric, who's mentoring me and teaching me every day things I didn't know. He tells me, I'm not a farmer, but he tells me if I were that I'd be outstanding in my field. And his mentor, Kevin Sorensen, my longstanding friend who served you. You've had great representation here. And thank you to all the people of Battle River Crowfoot. I want to tell you, it's been a privilege to get to know you better. And I have to say, it's been a lot of fun. It's been great fun to be on the ranches and the farms, to be out at the rodeos and the bronc matches, and even to whirl around a little bit in Riley on the four-wheeler. I might still get a ticket at some point for that. But, my mission here is to give national leadership to the issues that are of local importance. For example, reversing that EV mandate to allow you to drive your truck. That is a local issue.
Okay. I can agree with that.
And it will take national leadership to overturn it the way I overturned the carbon tax. Your right to protect and keep your firearms. That is a local issue if you're a hunter in Empress or Trochu or Consort. Cutting taxes, or for example, letting our farmers have zero capital gains when they reinvest the proceeds in our communities. That is a local issue. Reforming our prisons so that our guards down in Drumheller are safe. That's a local issue, but it requires national leadership. Fighting against the Chinese tariffs on our canola, that is a local issue. These local issues require strong national leadership, and it would be the privilege of my life to provide both the local representation and the national leadership to the community.
So here is the close. That was the closing remark by Pierre Poilievre. Now, you know what? I know that there's a lot of people that like him. I want to smack him. That damn smile that he has. He reminds me of that kid in, we all had that kid in elementary school, in high school, that you just wanted to smack around. There's just something about him that you don't know why. You don't really understand why. You just want to smack him and not necessarily hurt him, but just like dominate him a bit, like just fuck with him, right?
Just very punchable face, right?
Yeah, Pierre Poilievre is that to me. I don't like the way he speaks, like that smile that he has.
He's a classic politician. I mean,
yeah,
that's
well said.
Yeah, he's just to a certain, like, in a bygone era, that was the kind of politician that did well, right? Said all the right things, pretty good in a speech, in a given speech. Like, he can talk serviceably, but yeah, you try to get him to talk about something off the cuff and you never get anything from him. It's like he's just a slogan machine. He doesn't really have any original thoughts, at least it appears to me. And like a classic politician, he just seems to be triangulating every single thing he says, running it through the focus groups that they've done internally, and trying to offend the least percentage of people, and just fucking say what you mean, man. It'd be so much easier. How much mental energy would it take to like filter everything you say through that shit in your brain? Just say what you mean. It's a lot easier, and people will respond to it.
And I like the way you're saying it, because he does sound like you're very typical politician. But one of the things that's interesting is that, so you have the CPC, the Conservative Party of Canada, Pierre Poilievre, and then I'm going to show you an independent by the name of Bonnie Critchley, which she's really praised by the left mainstream media. And then I'm going to show you Jonathan Bridge, which he's the PPC candidate in that region.
Yep.
And just look at the difference in the way that they speak. You have Pierre Poilievre, the career politician. Then you have Bonnie, that is an in-between. You know what? You'll see. And then you have, just look at the differences in the way that they speak. So here is Bonnie with her closing remark.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bonnie Critchley. I just want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, our moderator, all the candidates for coming out and stepping up, and all of you folks for at least coming out and making some noise. What I would like to say is that this is our home, this is our riding, and while we're sitting back in the back, I believe it was Jonathan and Darcy and I were discussing a certain old folks' home that we all know, because we live here. Out of curiosity, who here can vote?
You know what she means by that, right? No. That's actually, I got to give it to her. That's kind of clever what you just said there, because basically what she's saying is who here can vote, as in who lives here, who is capable of voting in this by-election. And it's like every single person on that panel except because he doesn't live there.
He can't, so he can't vote in this riding,
but he doesn't live there. It's like hilarious. I can't go in that by-election and like, hey, I'm going to vote for someone. No, you have to live there.
That's right. That's right. So that's kind of clever. He can run in the election, but he can't vote in it. That's funny.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. We live here. This is our home. And we sure as heck don't want to be doing this again in January now, do we?
What?
She's saying because Pierre doesn't live in the riding, he can't vote for himself in the by-election.
So that's another thing that I found interesting, because Northern Perspective are very respected on the conservative, like they're massive fan of Pierre Poilievre. You can just see in the way that the way that they look at him when he was speaking. But the point is that what she basically said right now is, you know, that there is a review in January of the Conservative Party leadership. They're going to give a place to the members to vote if they want to keep Pierre Poilievre in place. So even if he wins in August, that means that in January, they could vote him off and just say, you're not the leader anymore.
But he would still be in the riding. But I guess she means he would quit if he wasn't the leader.
That's basically what she's assuming. So
which is probably correct. I would say is probably true.
And that I agree. Like Logan White, I could not agree with you more. I think Northern Perspective doesn't give CPC enough hard bar question. And I got to tell you, man, you will not find a harder conservative. I'm a conservative, small c, a harder conservative on Pierre Poilievre than I am. I'm probably the worst fucking critic of Pierre Poilievre in Canada. And you're absolutely right. Nobody on the right has the balls to call Pierre Poilievre for what he is, and he is a coward. He's a simple coward, and it's unfortunate because it's our job to call up our leaders. It is our fucking job. So, but it would be hypocritical of me to be able to call out Mark Carney, but not to call out Pierre Poilievre. It's not right. You need to be able to call your leaders, no matter if you voted for them or not, if you endorse them or not. Irrelevant. Call them out. But you're absolutely right. They're very, very easy on Pierre Poilievre, but the way she approaches it is clever, but I don't think that the audience or the people that she's talking to are clever enough to understand what she actually said. I don't know why she didn't say it out loud for everybody to understand, because unless you're really involved in politics, you don't even understand what she was saying. And even the guy on Northern Perspective didn't get the January comment, yet it probably flew above most people's head, right?
Yeah.
I have no personal aspirations. I'll say it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't want to do this. I was enjoying my retirement from the military, but it is important to me that we have
people to vote for you.
Do you believe it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think anyone does this unless they want to be elected. But it's just funny.
But that's not what she's saying. I think she's trying to say that if it wasn't for the fact that Pierre Poilievre was trying to run over there, that Damien Jurek was replaced, wasn't replaced, she would have ran because she basically what she's saying is the reason I'm running is because I want somebody from here to represent my interests, not somebody that's going to be elected here and to get his job back in Ottawa and be the leader of the party. That's pretty much what she's saying. But again, I don't know what's so hard. I don't know why people don't just fucking say it out loud. Say it clear, say it very simply so that people understand what you're saying. Pierre Poilievre is not able to vote here. Everybody knows that? Yes, exactly. Do you really want to elect him when he has a chance of losing his leadership in January? And we all know that if he loses in January, chances are he's not just going to be an MP. So how about you just say it? Why would
she's a little too cute. She's a little too cute with it.
She's trying to be clever, but I don't think people understand what she's saying.
No, and now and what she's saying, like, oh, I just don't want an outsider to represent me. Something tells me if it was Mark Carney that had lost his seat and the same thing happened, Mark Carney was running in this by-election, I don't think she'd care that Mark Carney was an outsider.
You know, I said this yesterday with David Creighton. Pierre Poilievre is as Albertan as Mark Carney is Ontarian.
Yeah. There's nothing Albertan about
Pierre Poilievre, and there's nothing from Ontario and Mark Carney.
No.
Nothing.
Mark Carney's European.
Yes.
Spiritually European.
Morally, spiritually, physically, sexually. Yes.
Element. I firmly believe that Monsieur Poilievre is too busy with his own personal ambitions to give a rat's backside about us.
I think that's probably true.
And with him facing leadership review in January.
There you go.
Are we doing this again in February?
There you go.
So my name is Bonnie Critchley. I am not here for any personal aspirations. I am here for you. I am here for my neighbors. I am here for all of our communities. Together, we can make our mark on the map, and we can stand up for ourselves.
That was
so. That was awful. Yeah, I don't agree with her. I agree. I think that she was trying to be too clever instead of just being. I don't know why it's so. Just grow a pair and fucking call them out directly if that's what they're trying to do. Don't try to be cute, like you said.
I think I think what she said about this is primarily about Mark Carney or Poilievre's personal ambitions. I think that's absolutely correct. This has nothing to do with him wanting to represent the people of Battle Creek.
No. Battle Crow.
Battle Crow. Oh yes, correct. But I think he's going to win. Probably pretty easily. And I just honestly, I just don't like. I understand her argument, but I just don't think people think about politics in that way. I know I don't really think about the local representative. You think about the national parties who you really vote for. I voted for the Conservative in my area. I don't even know his name. I don't know anything about him, but mostly I was voting against Mark Carney, and that's only just because I just felt you can't reward 10 years of that much economic incompetence. But I never felt like I was voting for my local Conservative guy. I don't know anything about him. Battle River Crowfoot.
That is such a weird thing. That writing cannot get in my head for some reason.
Yeah,
I can't know why I always fucking forget it.
It doesn't stick. But yeah, I don't think most people, and I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think most people really think about their local representative.
Yeah,
even though technically that's how the system is supposed to work like that.
But how do you change the world? How do you change a country? What community at a time? It's the people that are your mayor. It's the people that are on the school board. It's the people that run your municipal government. Those are the people that change your life. This is where you interact daily. Right. So your local representative is.
I think the system would work better. I think if we actually gave a shit about our local rep. 100%. Ideally, do away with fucking parties, right?
Yep.
But since parties do exist, they seem to suck up all the oxygen in the room, and most people vote, I think, with a national concept in mind. That's why you had the strategic voting for all these NDPers voting Liberal and stuff.
So here is the last, and I'm showing this for Sylvie because she had asked that we speak to this guy. But here is Jeff Bridges. He is the PPC candidate. And
you don't attack your opponents like that.
Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event. Thank you to Camrose for coming out to see it, and the rest of Battle River Crowfoot for tuning in.
Do you get the joke here?
No, what do you say?
For Camrose for seeing it, because Poilievre is being accused right now of organizing buses from people from Camrose to go to the debate in person, to be like he bussed in supporters.
So we would have people to clap at his shit.
I don't understand why he didn't say it out loud. I understand because I do a lot of fucking research and I saw those allegations.
Yeah.
But why not just fucking say it out loud? Thank you for all the people that Pierre Poilievre brought in through by bus from like why? I would call him out and I'd look at him right in the face as I'm saying it too. Like, this is politics, man. If you want to win, be ballsy.
Yeah,
plain and simple. But just look at he doesn't go for long, but listen to this.
With the People's Party, we do not have a party whip either. So your voice.
Oh shit! Sorry, hold on. Sorry, Sylvia. You're so right. It's Jonathan Bridges, not Jeff Bridges. That's the actor. You're so right. God damn it.
He was in Tron.
Yeah, he's in Tron. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, and I think he was one of the white men for Kamala Harris. I lost so much respect for Jeff Bridges.
I don't doubt it at all.
So Jonathan Bridges, you're right, Sylvie. My
He
apologies.
was also the dude in that. Fuck, what was that called? I forget. But yeah, I always liked him. But yeah, he kind of beclowned himself a little bit with the white dudes for Kamala. Like, shut the fuck up.
Would be heard by myself and taken to Ottawa, and I would vote according to what my conscience is and according to what what my constituents ask me to do. So many things go through my head. Sorry. As you might tell, I'm not someone who has prepared a bunch of speeches in my life. I've been working as a mechanic all of my life since I got out of high school. But I do believe that I can resonate very well with most of the people in this area, if not all of you. I can find common ground. I would absolutely love to take your voice to Ottawa and represent you with accountability.
Well, this is bad.
And openness. So, sorry, I can't think of anything else to say at the moment, so I'll just end with this. I think it's time to put a commoner in the House of Commons.
So
not his finest work.
Just look at the title: Crazed and Confused, CBC picks Bonnie Critchley, ends with a rant while PPC candidate freezes on stage. And you know, I used to give presentations for a living, right? So
it's hard. It's hard.
I would be in front of a lot of people and just speak. I've given speeches and I will continue to do so. And, you know, I'm on shows that were shown in front of millions and millions of people, all to say that if I look at the mannerisms of all three, just based on the way they handled it, if it was my local place, and I don't know that guy, I don't know Bridges whatsoever. I've never researched him. This is as much as I've heard him speak. He's the guy I would vote for just because he hesitated. He was not there with a pre-made speech. He probably didn't even think that at the end there would be closing remarks and he would have to say something. He was probably sitting there shitting in his pants. Just, oh, shit. Oh, motherfucker. I really have to?
That's why that was so uncomfortable, because I know what that would feel like, that where you just draw a blank in front of. I think that's a lot of people's worst fear ever.
Oh, yeah. And 100%. So this is what I find interesting. You see there are three type of people that you might see in politics: the career politician in Pierre Poilievre.
Yep.
Then you have the pissed off lesbian.
Yep.
And then you have the commoner guy that is just like I don't really want to be up here, but I think it's time. I thought his last line was brilliant. I want to put maybe it's time we put a commoner in the House of Commons.
Well, yeah, what he was saying was not a career politician. I think that you know, I think that's sort of like stumbling and bumbling shtick that can actually work for sure if you pair it with, you know, I'm the common guy. I'm not one of these super polished, you know. Poilievre says every word exactly correctly, and yet there's no meaning behind any of it. It's all just slogans and vibes. So yeah, I guess there is that contrast. At the end of the day, all of it feels a little performative, because I feel like it's just Poilievre's going to win. It's one of those elections where everyone knows
it's pre-done.
It's kind of like a Russian election, right? You know, Putin's winning. So it's one of those things. But
I just found it interesting because you're literally seeing opposite, like the very distinct styles of politicking. Two of them more in politicking.
Yeah, that's right.
But again, Pierre Poilievre missed a massive opportunity to just show up there in a t-shirt and jeans and just. Nobody else was.
He doesn't have it in him. He sleeps in that suit. That's his pajamas. You know what though? I bet you if we had if Parliament was filled with guys like
him, like Jonathan Bridges,
we'd be in a much better place.
Yeah, it's
much better place.
I think so. I think so too. I'm not saying that he's the man for the job. I don't know him.
I'm not talking about his politics or the PPC or anything. Let's say I didn't know anything about the parties. I'm just looking at the mannerisms of the people. That's what I'm talking about.
Because of his clothes, Bible vibe.
He's a regular person. He's not a career politician who's just going to say whatever has been run through focus groups and run through the filters of his triangulating all this shit in his mind like Poilievre. That's what we've had for 40 years. I mean, how's that done?
Like Bible vibes. Let me ask you this. So do you have a gripe with career politicians? Because I do. I don't like career politicians. I don't trust them. I don't trust people that work for the public while making a shit ton of money. It doesn't make any sense to me. Public office should cost you something. It should be something that you do because you want to help others. That's why. Those are the type of people that you want to have in politics. And I don't know what has Pierre Poilievre bring to the table. What does he bring to the table for the people that are there? You're not talking right now. You're not electing a party leader. You're electing an MP for that riding. That's what you're doing. If I lived over there, I would want somebody that would have my interests at heart, that would be there elected to represent me in Ottawa, my riding in Ottawa, not elect the next party leader that will never fucking be in my riding.
When is that? When is that election? Is that today?
On the 18th. No, August 18th. Because, Damien Carrick, like him or not, he was still somebody from there. He was still local to that place. So, but what do you want? Because even me, I didn't vote for Pierre Poilievre in the last election. I didn't vote for anybody because nobody owns my vote. And I couldn't encourage any of those guys. But the point is that if you're voting, vote for your best interest. What's your best interest if you live in that riding? To have somebody local represent your values in Ottawa. Because that's why we have MPs from all the ridings in Canada, because they're supposed to represent our little slice of Canada in Ottawa. That's the whole point of an MP. So I think so many people are voting think that we should vote for Pierre Poilievre because they want him as the party leader. But they don't consider the people that live in that riding that will be electing a guy that will never be in that riding. So over the next 4 years, if Pierre Poilievre is elected, he's not going to fight for you. He doesn't give a fuck about your writing. At the end of the day, Bonnie was right. He doesn't give a fuck. Why would he?
Well, yeah. But like
bigger issues than your writing. With Canada.
But that said, just the way that the party system works, nobody votes for their local riding. The party tells you how to vote. If you're a member of the Liberal Party, you vote how the Liberal Party tells you to vote, regardless of your local riding. That's not how it should be. I'm just saying this is how it is. So it's not like and no one really gets true local representation. And at the end of the day,
the idea.
Yes, I agree with that.
The idea is still that.
Yes, I agree with that. At the end of the day, as Bible Vibe says, Pierre's going to win it. So I mean, this is all just
no doubt, fucking questions about it. It's going to be a landslide.
Yeah,
it's going to be a fucking landslide. No questions about it.
I mean, this is more just that's because we have a show about politics, so we're going to talk about this. But he's going to win. There's no doubt. I think he'll win the leadership thing in January. I don't know. I don't understand how you would go through
100%.
all this trouble
No, they want him. There's no
to get
doubt that
him
they want
in
him. Oh,
and
no,
then
they want
kick
him.
out in January. Yeah, they
Oh,
want
no.
him for sure.
Oh, no,
In fact,
Bonnie's trying to be cute, was trying to be cute in her speech, but it's not true. He's going to win that riding by a landslide. He's going to be the party leader again, and he's going to go through January.
Yep.
If he can lose an election that he was winning by 30 points and still, no. Pierre Poilievre for the Conservative Party cannot do no wrong.
I'm surprised that they bent over backwards to make this happen for him, but you're not going to do all this.
No.
You're not going to do all this and then dump him in January for sure.
No, of course not.
All right, guys, we'll put a pin on her there. Excellent show today. Lots of great comments, lots of new faces. Remember, if you are a new viewer here and if you support what Nico and I are doing, think there's a space out there for this kind of common sense discussion from the left and the right, regardless of how you affiliate. We're all political orphans here. If you know that there's something that's broken in the system, something that's not right, needs to be fixed. And that's what we're doing here, creating a space where we can talk about it. Guys, if you want to support us, please consider becoming a member for the low price of $2.99 through your YouTube. You can do that through YouTube at the chat. I think there's an option there. You can do it. And also remember, please like and share at the very least. That will also help us in the algorithm. But other than that, folks, and tomorrow we have two doctors who are going to talk to us about, I don't know their names, but they're both, they both have a presence on social media.
They're both two leading experts in Canada.
Tell me that's anti-Semitic.
Yes. No, she didn't talk about your nose. She talked about hey-o.
Hey-o.
Yeah.
Good. Yes, but we've got these two doctors. That's going to be a really good conversation. They're going to talk to us about their opinion on the state of our healthcare system. Other than that, folks, we will see you tomorrow, noon Eastern, same time, same place as always.
Peace out.
Peace out.